Okay, let's see if this will work. Welcome to another episode of Grade This. First up, it's this gorgeous book. Oh my goodness, this is a beautiful copy of Amazing World of DC. Okay, look at this razor sharp edges and spine. There's a little rub on the bottom left, very tiny, not a big deal. Look at this beautiful right edge of this book. Nothing there. I don't see anything. Razor sharp front cover, but the little ding. And then even with the other picture, look at this. Okay, look at this. I can't tell if what's going on there with the under the S. There's like a little imperfection. I'm not sure. You know, in hand you can tell more, but does that mean that there is a flaw there? I cannot tell based on what I see here. But just assume that in hand that's just a little, little ding on the cover that can easily be fixed with a press. Okay, because I can't tell if there's anything wrong there, but it just doesn't look perfect. As you can see, the bottom corner, a little wear right there, no biggie. Back cover, look at this beautiful back cover. Look at that edge and corner, and the spine. Look at that. Nothing there to complain about, right? A little thing there on the bottom right, and then a little color loss there on the bottom of the book, just a little. Okay, not a crease, just a little rub that lost a little color there. But my god, can this book be a 9.6? Yeah, I can't imagine why it's not a 9.6 based on what I see, unless I'm missing something, right? Beautiful book. But yeah, I mean, sure, I can't see it be a 9.8 with that little flaw there on the bottom left and bottom right. But other than that, 9.6 easy. This one here is another tough one. I wish there was a better picture, okay? But this is about as good as we're gonna get with this one. Beautiful, dark, rich color. My copy is not as dark in color, okay? So this is a nice copy, and I wish the picture can zoom in better, but based on what I can tell here, look like there are one spine tick left of Bruce. Okay, one, and then there's two spine tick here by the mid staple under the D, left of D under right there, maybe a little rub, right? But that's it. That is about all I can see. I can't tell from the picture of anything else that is wrong with this book. Cannot tell. The back cover look pristine, but there's no way to tell. There's no way to tell if there's anything else that is wrong with this book. Okay, I look at it as good as I can based on what I can tell. There's no other flaw that I can see. The corners are razor sharp, unless I'm missing something. But based on this, easy 9.4. Can this be a 9.6? Maybe. Okay, this Batman 181 is also not easy to grade. Okay, not easy here, especially with that dark area on the right side of the cover where Cuz is she the Cuz? What that dark area? Is that a little stain? Let's assume, I'm going to assume that's a little stain. Not a big stain, but a little stain. And then you can see there's a bunch of light creases that barely break color, but it break colors. Okay, so there's a bunch of light creases right on the edge of this right side of the cover, and then of course you get the bigger creases and things that break color on the bottom right corner. Okay, on the left side, not bad. The spine, there's a ding there that can be fixed with a press. And then there's some wear by the upper staple where Batman is. And then what's tough is what by the neck of Batman. Is that a scratch? Is that a crease? Okay. Let's assume that that's a little crease there. But like I said, when you see a picture like this, you just have to, take into assumption of what you can and can't see, and what you can guess and can't guess. Okay, it just looks like there are some sun shadow on the top edge of the book that make it look darker. Okay, the back cover is really nice. Okay, not much here in the back cover that cannot be cleaned up. Okay, no major creases to look at. Light creases there that can be fixed. Centerfold's intact, nice. So what would I give this book, given that I can only guess that there's a light stain there? I will give this an 8.0. okay, it is an 8.0. Can it be higher? Maybe, with a press and a clean, and depending on what's going on there with the light stain that I can see. Not bad. I'm not sure who that is, but let's avoid that. Amazing Spider-Man Annual. This is a nice copy right here. Beautiful copy. It's tough to find this book in high grade, and this is not high grade. Okay, I don't care what the seller is selling here, but let's take a look. Look like there are some light color breaking creases on the bottom edge, but bad enough that if all the flaws is there on the bottom edge, if that's all we see, maybe a 7.0. okay, based on this little picture alone, maybe. But right there you can see there are two big creases on the top right corner. There's no other way for me to zoom in, but one is about 1 inch and one is about 2.5 inches across the word annual. Okay, so the back cover, not bad. Back cover is actually pretty clean. Look at that. Easily can be cleaned up. Okay, except for of course the stain right there. There's a stain just right there on the left edge of the back cover. Okay, so that's the worst flaw of the back cover, beside a bunch of light creases and dirt that can be cleaned up. But there is at least a 1/2 inch to a 3/4 inch spine split right there. See, this picture gives you a better view of the spine split. At least 1/2 inch, but I don't think it is more than 3/4 inch based on what we can see here. But you get a better view of all the wears on the bottom edge of the front cover. Okay, the spine, the top of the spine, a little bindery tear, nothing bad there. Another good picture. See, hit this picture, you can also see the spine split. Another picture. Look at this is white page all day long here. Look at the white of the interior cover. Nice. Okay, nice. Any more pictures? The back cover, the pinup is all there. What would I give? So here you also get a good view of the stain on the back edge of the back cover. Look at that. You can see it. Okay, right there. Based on what I can see, I would give this book 5.5. Can it be higher? Maybe. Okay, but I feel good giving this a 5.5. And if you whoever that owned this book, if they slap it and CGC give it a high grade, then good for you. But for me, 5.5. I'm comfortable giving it a 5.5. It's not quite a 6.0 for me with all the wears and tears, okay? Not quite 6.0 for me. But CCC can give it a 6.0. Wouldn't shock me one bit to see this book in a 6.0 slab. This one here is tough one. It has a lot of bug chew. Top edge, perfect example of a book that have bugs eating the cover. Normally you see a bug eating beyond the front cover, but this book only has that. This picture gave me a chuckle of the yellow brown backing board. No need to show that. Without the bags, okay, sure, there are crease probably about an inch long across the word Spider-Man. Across the E, not bad. Look like there is at least a 2-inch crease on the spine by the right hand of Spider-Man, and some spine ticks there, but there's some wear on the bottom edge of the front cover and look like some bug chew on the right side of Chameleon, as well as Craven the Hunter in the white area. Look like there are some bug chew there, so let's see. The next picture give you a better look at the bug chew area of the top edge. It's not bad, okay? I have seen much worse, but unfortunately there are lost paper there, and then as well as a back cover. Look at the back cover. It's a damn shame, right? Because there's no creases whatsoever, but damn, bug chew there and there, as well as the left side. Some close-up look. Okay. The corner creases, not a big deal. Okay. The tears, not a big deal. The big deal is, of course, the bug chew cover. Look at the page quality of this book. Nice. Okay, very nice. I give this book at least off-white to white, and you can see from the pictures the interior of the cover is not brown or yellow, so it's too bad. It's really too bad. You know, would I give this book a 3? Potentially, I can see this book as a 3, no more, no lower than a 2.5 for me, with all the flaws, with the missing pieces on the front cover, with the bug chew. I give it a 2.5 or 3. Okay. Once again, can it go higher in a CCC slab? Maybe, but for me, it's a 3. Last but not least is this Strange Tale 89. Beautiful book. Let's go with the front cover first. The front cover is really nice. Okay, really nice. Look at this. Sure, there are some marble chipping, but the spine is super nice with maybe 3 or 4 spine ticks, and then there is a light crease by the end on the Strange Tales, just light. You can see better with this picture right there. But damn, look at the beautiful color on this book. This book is so hard to find in high grade that this is an anomaly here. There's a light edges wear, okay, on the bottom edge. Not bad though, not bad at all. The front cover looked like a 7.5 all day long, okay? The front cover looked like 7.5 all day long. Look at this white, nice. Look at the interior cover. How often do you see a book, this book, that is this nice as far as page quality? It looked like off-white to white, beautiful interior. You know, beautiful. Just look at that. Giving you a close-up look. Look at this. Really nice. Okay, the front of this book looked like an easy 7.5. Easy. Might even be close to an 8.0. Okay, even with the marble chipping. But the back cover is where the problem is. This one here is what is the problem. Is that a 2-inch corner crease? Is there a 2-inch corner crease, or is there 1 2-inch corner crease? So that's the tough questions. I tend to think that this book, if it was clean, dry clean, to remove the dirt on the corner right there, assuming that's just dirt, okay, assuming that's just dirt and not a stain, assuming you can clean up and it's just one big 2-inch corner crease and not 2 creases, and then you get this minor tears on the bottom edge, it's not bad, okay? This book can be anywhere from a 6.5 to a 7.0. I don't see it go lower than a 6.0, but I don't see it higher than a 7.0, especially with a 2-inch corner crease like this on the back cover. Whenever I see a 2-inch corner crease, I just don't see it higher than a 7.0. Okay, so this book is between a 6.5 and a 7 for me. 7 would be the max. The lowest range would be a 6.0, but I'm comfortable giving it a 6.5 as is. And that's it for this episode of Grade This. Thanks for watching.